I think JDM Supreme's tow vehicle is pretty cool. I think yours is cooler though. And plus,
They have some
what you're
pretty neat
towing,
stuff.
you may not be towing a Tommy Mackinnon 6.5 Evo, but you're towing something a lot cuter.
That's Cash's dog.
How are you doing?
I'm well, man. How are you? I'm happy to be here on it.
Yeah, I'm happy you're here.
This is my first Grid Life, and it's their first Grid Life at my home state of Connecticut, their first Grid Life at Lime Rock, so I figured I had to come.
I think for the first time, we'll just feature the dog.
Okay.
I mean, while the car and the package is cool here, I think your dog is the star.
Yeah, he's the real star of the show. That's Cash's dog, and he's gonna be 15 soon. So he had a little bit of health issue. He had a stroke a couple months ago, and I thought it was the end for him, but he made a miraculous recovery. So I hurry up and piece this thing together, and I'm bringing him to pee in every state and smell all the smells, and I want him to swim in the Pacific Ocean, and so that's what we're doing now. I just figured give him the best life I can while he's still healthy enough to do so.
I love that you just call it a thing, and never mind this thing that you have here. This is cool in itself, the Moto Campo, the Honda. The fact that it fits into this package, you call this a thing.
So my friend calls it like one of those Russian dolls that keep opening and like you keep pulling out stuff. So, and it's never done. I have more ideas. People are like, oh, how long would you build it? I'm like, I'm still building it constantly. Like it's not finished, you know? But this trailer folds up and goes into the roof box. The Moto Campo folds up and goes into that trailer.
I mean, I don't think you could have picked a more reliable tow vehicle. It is a Honda after all.
Yeah, it's reliable.
You know?
Knock on wood.
All right, so let me get this straight. You built this to do kind of like a cross-country tour.
Yeah, so originally I was gonna buy a race trailer with living quarters, and I was saving up like a bucket of change to do that, and I was gonna take my S2000 and go to all the tracks and start doing track days. And then I realized I don't need all that comfort of like living quarters, and air conditioning would be nice, but this is fine. I could sleep in a tent and go do the same thing, and I could haul around wheels and tools and that and go do track days.
So you actually do track days in this?
I have not yet. I'm really looking forward to starting it though. I'm a little intimidated because I've never done it before, but I'm looking forward to doing it. So I'm not going to set any lap records on bags. I'm well aware of that, but I'll still have fun. And that's kind of the point of it, is I just want to have fun.
There's just so many firsts with this, I feel like, and there's just so much going on. I mean, I'm guessing this is probably the first ever off-road NSX too. Like, look at this.
I have some fun. We went into like a muddy field, and so this is Vermont mud and some Connecticut mud mixed in. But we just did the whole East Coast.
This is such a flex. I mean, the work wheels, and they're carbon too.
I made those. I just did carbon overlay over them, and I can't keep them nice. So I'm gonna go back to polished aluminum, because the way I drive it and put miles on it, I actually made a video, like a DIY video of how to do that, and whoever watched that video, don't do it. If you drive your car, don't do it. If it's like a show car, go ahead. But if you actually drive it and put miles on them, you can't keep them nice, rock chips and everything else. So
Fitment kind of sus, huh?
yeah, my fender's pretty
I think it
messed
looks
up
pretty
there.
cool to me. I don't even know where to begin. All right,
Well, these are all the states Cassius has peed in so far.
Okay, all right,
It's
cool.
looking pretty pathetic right now, but we're filling it up.
Well, you pretty much got all the East Coast,
Yeah,
which is
so
important.
now that it's starting to get a little cooler towards fall, I'm going to start heading out west. I'm going to stay up north, and then my plan is when it gets cool enough, I'll start heading back down south, have Pacific Coastal Highway. And one of my friends, he's a good friend of mine, he's a photographer, he's out in Hawaii. We've talked about putting this thing in a shipping container and maybe going out there. It is expensive to do that, but I think it would be awesome to go out there. I've never been, so.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I know, especially Hawaiian car culture, you know, it's super big out there. They would love something like this, without a doubt. They would go crazy over this.
I have a lot of friends out there I've been wanting to visit, so I'm looking forward to doing all that.
So while your actual tow vehicle is amazing, I feel like your trailer is the star. You actually slept in this last night?
I sleep in it a lot, yeah, that's what we do, yeah. It's, I camped out, I found a nice shady spot under the trees over there and camped out there, so we'll do it again tonight.
How did you do this? What did you do?
This was at a junkyard, and it was essentially everybody had already gone over the thing. There was no panels, no nothing. I ended up, the junkyard had some panels, and I bought them from them too, but it was a naked shell with no wiring harness or pedal assembly or anything. So it had been hit in the ass end, and it was totaled, and it was also hit on the passenger side. And whoever did that bought it back from the insurance company, and they were issued a rebuilt title, even though as I dug into it, I don't know how they even got that. But then after they got the rebuilt title, they totaled it again, this time in the front. So it had been totaled twice, so you can't put a car legally on the road, you can't register it again unless you like wash titles, which is an expensive, hard process. And it would have cost more money to restore this one, and you would have had to cut it here anyway because it was hit so hard in the front that the floors buckled and the frame rails cracked and the pillars were bent slightly. So you would have had to cut it here anyway to put a front clip on it. And even if you cut corners and made your own panels and Lexan windows and tube chassis the front end, you were going to spend more. I was going to spend more than what a sorted NSX that could be on the road again. So I had it issued I had to get a new VIN number issued as a camp trailer, a homemade camp trailer. And so it's still going to live on and still going to go do track days eventually. It's just going to be hauling my track gear, and that's it.
Just this scene alone, if I cut this off and you didn't see what's in front, it would be a very interesting, like people would question it. Like, why is it that an Acura NSX why does it have a camp trailer? But you just look at this. I mean, so what did you have to do? You cut the door, you cut it straight down here?
So originally I tried to make my own carbon fiber doors because it didn't come with doors and I didn't want to cut factory doors. But my friend had damaged doors that were like bowed, very damaged, so they were a good candidate for it. So I got those from him for really cheap because they were unusable for anything else. So yeah, and I cut those. That was actually quite a process. It's still unfinished. I don't know what I'm going to do here for windows yet. I haven't figured it out.
Yeah, you might need some for all the mud that kind of goes in here.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I did all bed liner in there. I could just rinse it out with a hose or whatever. But right now it's pretty much an open trailer there. But the trunk is sealed, and I store stuff in the tent as well. So I keep clothes in there and dog food and bear spray and camera gear and stuff like that. So
what's in the engine compartment then?
so I cut out the bulkhead and I keep the moto compo there and spare tires and then all the air suspension set up because this has its own air management, own air tank. So that's there as well.
Okay, so this has its own air suspension.
Yeah.
Do you control it from the inside?
I can control it from the inside or out here, yeah.
So then is it just on a battery or?
Yeah, so this has its own little like motorcycle battery for auxiliary power. And so it actually, this battery charges off the car's charging system. And if I'm camping and listening to music or I have lights and like a fan going, it'll draw off the car battery. Once the car battery gets below a certain voltage, it has something called a smart battery isolator, and it stops drawing from that so that it doesn't kill that battery, and then it starts drawing from this battery on board.
I also love the fact that you went out of your way to match your tent.
Well, Yakima had a red tent, so I was like, well, I'll take a red tent, I guess. I actually hate the color red, ironically. I wanted a silver anyone, and I couldn't find one.
This is just so cool. What about the structural side of it? Like, how is it that you knew that this would actually work?
I figured it was strong enough to hold an engine and all the torque and everything. So I'm not an engineer and I'm not a fabricator, and I've learned that by this. But I've been teaching myself, and I've gotten to the point now where when I see something that needs to be aluminum welded, I'm good enough to do it myself. I'm not a good welder, but I'm confident enough where I can now attack it without needing any help from anybody.
So then the actual not really driveline anymore. It's just a trailer.
Yeah. So
how is this set up?
So I had to make my own axles out of grade 8 bolts just to kind of keep the wheel bearings cinched together, and that was it. So that's how that is. So when I go through tolls, they charge you by axle, and I'm always arguing with the toll people like, this thing doesn't have axles.
Oh, really? Okay. So how is it bolted on?
It's just a grade 8 bolt with some washers and.
Wait, this doesn't turn then?
Yeah, no, it does. Well, no, it does. That turns. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so the rotor is still there because you need to use it to bolt this onto it.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be a way around that, but I actually plan on putting the factory brakes on here and a little e-brake in the front. I'd thought about surge brakes for this. It handles beautifully. I just did the tail of the Dragon with a bunch of NSXs in this thing, and it was great. it doesn't stop well. And so they sell surge brakes, but they're meant for like 3,500 pound trailers. This thing's only 640 pounds when it's empty. Full, it's probably like 1,100, 1,000 pounds or whatever. So braking does suffer. I do want to do something about the brakes. I haven't figured that out yet, but I think I'm just going to do a big brake kit on the car. And then I'll do factory calipers back here with an e-brake just for when I'm moving the trailer on hills and stuff by itself.
Wow, it's interesting to me because a lot of the NSX stuff is still here.
Yeah, yep.
Like the arms, you can actually do the alignment back here.
And I just did with string, and I've never aligned a trailer before, and I wasn't quite sure how to do the toe and the camber and everything, because I was wearing through tires every like 8,000 miles. I've only put like 11,000 miles on this thing so far, maybe 12,000.
That's more than most people drive there.
Well, it's for me, it's still like the maiden voyage. Like the reason I'm staying on the East Coast is I'm trying to break stuff now and get it broken here so that when I go across country, I'll have it sorted out. But I was wearing through tires like crazy because of camber, so I set the camber out, and then I had to mess with the toe. So when I did the alignment, I had to run string. Yeah, there's not a lot of room there.
You can't fit a credit card in here, dude.
No, there's not a lot of room, but it's aired up, so I mean, it's aired down right now. But yeah, so I did the toe with string, but I had to like make imaginary front wheels so there's a lot of measuring involved to figure out how to do the alignment on this thing.
I love that you have like traction boards.
I've only had to use them once. I usually try to stay away from too much trouble with it, but I've gone on beaches, I've camped out in sand on this thing and I didn't get stuck. It's really just throttle control, but there was one muddy like route in the middle of the woods going up a hill that I got stuck on and I had to use one traction board and that was it. So
I kind of feel like even if you did get into trouble, I feel like the NSX community would probably help you. Like it's not like
some of the guys aren't happy with me. They don't
really?
Me too much. Yeah.
But they don't know the story though. They don't understand that this was destined to get melted down into metal pretty much.
No,
right?
yeah, it was going to get crushed. I figure it's better than aluminum block, you know?
Right.
I like to troll the new NSX owners because the NC1, I always say like, this is actually lighter than the NC1 and it has a motorcycle inside of it, you know?
Right.
So 1.5 NSXs is lighter than the NC1. I like the NC1, but I like to make fun of those guys.
I just love this so much, like the fact that you even have trailer lights.
I had to.
Like
Connecticut
mandated.
there's all these laws for making a homemade trailer that it has to abide by, even reflectors, and they did not want this thing to be on the road. The DMV gave me a lot of trouble about saying, oh no, it's a car, you need a title. I'm like, it's not a car, it's a trailer. I had to show them the statutes and fight with them, but they failed me because the lights were tinted, and I'm like, they say DOT on them. Then they failed me for no reflectors, and I'm like, they're just red and you didn't see them, so I had to bring them out and show them to them again. Jeez. But yeah, eventually they had to pass me, so.
So how does this open then?
So this just, like this.
Oh, there's...
And so the Moto Compo straps in there, and that's the air suspension back there.
There's actually a lot of room in here.
Yeah, because I cut out the bulkhead. So there used to be a fuel tank there and an engine there. So there wasn't an engine when I got it or a fuel tank. But
this is where the stock seats
yeah, and
mount.
I could still put them there. I left the mounting points and I've put seats in here and I've driven my friends around. It's not as fun as you'd think. They get exhaust and gravel pelted at them. So. But my friends were like, oh, drive us around. So I was like, all right. So I drove them around for a while. I took this off and just put some seats in there, but they were getting exhaust and pebbles in the face.
I love that you have a spare tire here, the Yokohama Advan flavor.
Yeah, that's my rears.
So, and then this is the front?
Yeah, usually I try to do Yokohama all around, but I've been wearing through tires so quick, and the other day I just needed some rubber because I had a blowout in Virginia the other night, and then I had another close call in Florida, and when I got home with the trailer, both my back tires had cords showing, so I just went and got some cheap tires to keep in here. And then I keep the actual factory NSX donut there too, just in case it's underneath that blanket there.
The air suspension is right there, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade the compressor. I have a Viair 440 I'm gonna put in, because that little small one doesn't like to keep up too well. I only have like a 1 gallon tank. I might put that bigger too. The other day, the tank for this in the front, I just put this. I don't know why everybody who doesn't have bags does this. I actually just used it to fill the Moto Compo tires. So I put a little quick disconnect there so I could hook up air lines and use air tools or fill up my tires or whatever. So it's not the prettiest.
You still have room left.
Yeah. I used to have a big tank in the trunk, but I need my trunk, so I had to put a smaller tank up here.
Jeez. Okay, so. Oh, you took the seat out so your dog has room here.
Yeah, I made a custom dog bed out of a yoga mat. One thing that's cool about this car is this is what makes this car special to me anyway. The designer of the S2000, the NSX, his name's Shigeru Uehara, and he actually signed this car, and he's only signed 99 of them.
Okay, so he signed this car, but not in this configuration.
No, he signed it at 2006 NS Expo, and it was actually when the last owner owned the car. And then I guess Shigeru was tired from jet lag, and he had signed a bunch of cars, and then this was the last one he signed, and he took a nap in the seat after. He just said, okay, I'm tired, and took a nap in the car. So that's a funny story.
That is so cool. All right, so then how many miles is on this?
I think I just hit like 182,000. There's a guy who just hit 430,000 with his NSX, and he's been supercharged since 300,000, so I got a lot of catching up to do, but in my defense, he's had it a lot longer than me. My goal for this year is to hit 200,000.
I'm so blown away right now. This is just so cool. I mean, this was the reliable supercar, right? This is like the F355 fighter. Like, this is the one that you could drive every day as your daily driver, but you're just taking it to the next level by 10-fold, 20-fold.
Yeah, I'm certainly testing out and I'm putting it through its paces, so. Yeah. And I'm putting me through my paces and him through his paces too, and seeing how long we can stay. So like guys do cannonball runs. They go out, see how fast they can make it across the coast. I want to do the opposite. I want to see how long I could last, see if I could stretch it out a few months, you know?
So this still has a 5-speed?
Yeah, yep. This is the original 5-speed, really long gears.
Honestly, I've driven the NA1 and NA2 quite a bit. I love the NSX so much as a driver's car. Honestly, because it has no power steering, I like the NA1 a lot better.
This one actually does have power steering.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it has a Honda Accord power steering rack in it.
You put that in?
Yeah, so yeah, me and my friend, we put in a Honda Accord steering rack with a custom cradle and everything. So the original NSX steering, in my opinion, is like a school bus. If you want to turn from lock to lock, full left to full right, you have to turn the steering wheel 3.7 times. With the S2000 in comparison, it's only 2.25 times. And so this is in between. This is 2.76 times, I think, from lock to lock. So it's a faster steering rack than the original NSX. So a little bit of input makes more of a difference. And it gradually turns off and it's all the way off at 20 miles an hour. So you get full assist at like 1 mile an hour, and then it gradually gives you no power steering. And then once you're doing 20 miles an hour, you have no more power steering. So you get all the feedback from the road still. So.
Well, thank you so much for showing us this. When you get to LA, let us know.
Awesome.
So you can come by and say hi.
Yeah, I'd love to come visit, man.
This is just so cool. I love it so much. This is what I love about car culture.
I appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
You know, like look at all these nerds that showed up here. Look at all these cool cars, and we're just a couple extra nerds. You know, nerds on top of nerds. So. See you guys in the next video. We're gonna keep featuring awesome cars here at Grid Life Lime Rock. This is the first time we're here. What do you think about this event?
So far, it's awesome. I love it. Everybody's been great. I've seen some really cool cars. Go check out Rob Dom's RX-7. He's over there. I met him. Cool guy. I helped him, gave him some tools yesterday to work on his build. There's some beautiful NSXs over there. They made sure to park me away from the nice ones. They're like, you go over there.
Yeah, but you're getting all the attention though. Like, it's nonstop. People taking pictures of this thing. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys are in the area on the East Coast, the Northeast specifically, in the New York area, or anywhere around here, around Connecticut, come to Lime Rock next year for this event. This is just such a cool event.
Absolutely, and they're letting people drift the track, which is something that's never been done before, and they're drifting the full track, not just the skid pad.
Yeah, which reminds me, in 15 minutes I have to get on my Super to chase these guys. So
awesome.
I'll see you guys. I'll see you later.
Man. Nice to meet you.
All right.
Take care.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to support us directly, go to LarryChenPrints.com. I print and sign every single one of these. This is the perfect gift, or it's the perfect piece of art for your wall.